Are you ready for football? Welcome to the NFL Pregame Report.
Stop. Go. Come on. Stop.
Good people. We're in the building. Another episode. NFL Pregame Report. It's been an interesting time within the NFL. We will be talking about a game that is very important to two of the people on this panel. And that would be your boy Cool McCain. And right over here, my man TJ. Got that PA matchup today, so that'll be an interesting one to talk about.
Go Steelers.
Hey man,
They have not won in Philly since 1965. I don't think that's changing today, but we'll see.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Is that a primetime game?
4:30.
Yeah,
So it's a
4:30.
later game. It is a later
I
game.
think
It's
it's
a later game.
what America's game of the week.
Yeah, surprisingly, it's not a game that includes the Arlington football team this week. So that's different. And then, of course, we are joined by Mr. Bingtown Breakdown himself. Graces us with his presence and his nonsensical football knowledge and opinions. What's going on, buddy?
Man.
Ready for more some more football talk, guys?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, man, let's get into it. All right, so we'll start off pretty simple here, guys. So, old Bill Belichick. There was an issue with my autocorrect because I do call him Belicheat like all the time. So when I was sending the topic list, it did say Belicheat, which I do firmly stand by, but we'll call him Belichick just because he probably would prefer that. But did he go to UNC? Come on. My bad, y'all. My computer has been a menace to me this morning. Did he go to North Carolina because there was no interest from the NFL? And I'll just throw another little part on there. In a couple of years, because I think he has a 3-year contract, by the time his contract over, do you think he'll head back to the NFL?
I think it's 5 years. I think it's a 5-year contract.
It's a 3-year opt-out.
With an opt-out at 3.
We only count contracts up until opt-out on these parts.
Okay. So it's
You don't
3
believe
until
in
the
opt-in
opt-out.
years.
But here's the other thing too, right? You got to look at it. The buyout for the contract until June 1st of 2025 is $10 million. After June 1st, it's only $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So basically,
Huge.
if he has, if he has a really good year at UNC, an NFL team can just wait till June 2nd to give him $1 million, buy out the contract, and get him back in the NFL.
Absolutely.
Basically,
Yeah.
but it's you asked an interesting question. Was it because there was no interest? The answer to that question is yes. because no, I'm serious, right? The answer is yes. There was no interest because in today's NFL, right? In today's NFL, you have a GM, like the GM, the owner, and the coach are the Holy Trinity. Those are the guys that work together to build a team. And in Bill's situation, in Bill's case, the way he did it was he was judge, jury, and executioner. And if you're not going to give him that, then he's not going to go. Because the way he works his system, it's that or nothing. It's that or nothing. And today's NFL is just, it's not like it was in the early 2000s. It's not like that anymore. And a lot of these kids too, you got to figure the NIL's in effect now in college, right? So a lot of these younger kids, they're not looking at things the way the players back in 2000, 2001, 2002, 3, 4, 5, like the early 2000s. It's different. It's different. These kids know their worth going into the NFL. They know their worth. So they're not gonna, it's a different scenario. It's the reports coming out of New England when Bill left were that he was having trouble relating to the locker room. And yeah, no shit. Cause he's not like, if no shit, he couldn't relate to today's NFL athlete. Cause these young kids are different, like he's an old school, like the coaches that don't adapt don't last, they don't last. And the old school coaches like him have all but faded away. Like Andy Reid's kind of the last one, but if you look at his coaching style, he adapted. He adapted.
Red Walrus, we call him around here, sir.
He adapted. He adapted his coaching style. Bill Belichick couldn't do that. He is who he is. And he wasn't going to change for shit. And nobody was going to, even Dallas, right? Dallas was the big one, right? Cool that Dallas was the talk, build the Dallas. You think Jerry Jones is going to relinquish any 1 inch of power to him? Not a chance, even though they have a good relationship. Jerry loves that power. You think he's going to give that up? No way. Not a chance.
Your answer to the question, if I'm making sure I understand, is you agree that you don't think that there were any opportunities?
No, there wasn't. There wasn't. No.
All right. So we're welcoming in Key right now, and we're also welcoming in Said.
Yo,
I was waiting on Said till we got through with Bobby's tirade there. So
I wanted to touch.
I'm sorry, man. I just there was no opportunities. No, and I don't think there is going to be any either.
See.
So, Sid, I'm going to let TJ hop in here real quick.
Okay, yeah.
That'll work for you, sir?
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, by the way. Key, welcome as well. All right, TJ, what are your thoughts, sir?
Well, unfortunately, I agree with everything Bobby said, but no, I don't agree with the part of there won't be any interest in the future, but there definitely wasn't this past season. I feel like there is one job that for his $1 million buyout could happen, and that would be the San Francisco 49ers. Shanahan there's a question if he's losing the team. There was already a question if his voice is getting old and tired. What better way to shake it up, but not only shake it up, but also guarantee it's only a bridge coaching situation, if you will, and have Bill Belichick come on, basically whip everything into shape, possibly get them back into winning mode in 2 to 3 years. And then when he retires, you bring in another coach to carry it on.
Sid, you got to go after that.
Right. What a better way to shove it at Tom Brady, right? Than to go coach the 49ers into a winning season. But I agree with both these guys because, yeah, while there was no interest for Belichick this past season, I think there will be interest in the future. I think Belichick is showing that he can relate with these kids. He has a 24-year-old girlfriend. Like some of us have 24-year-old daughters.
You didn't go there.
Yeah. This guy has a 24-year-old girlfriend who just graduated college. He's going to coach these college kids to show that he can relate to these college kids. And
he's going to upgrade his love life.
Oof, it's not good. But then he's showing the NFL that, hey, I can do this. And
it's the real life version of Back to School.
Pretty much. It's what's that Adam Sandler movie? The one where he goes back to school.
Billy Madison.
Billy Madison. No, but yeah, I think he's showing that he can do it. And there's gonna be teams that are gonna be desperate too, that feel like they need to instill that culture. Teams like the Jags or the Giants even, or heck, even the Browns that want to maybe try to, rekindle an old love. But I think teams will be looking at that in the NFL to see how he does do with these young kids, because there's a youth movement in the NFL. And if he does good, he'll be back in the NFL, or he's getting an extension in North Carolina and he finishes out, in the college game like his dad did. So either way, I think it's a win-win for Belichick, unless he does like crap and just, but still, he's still getting probably paid from the Patriots. So that's my
key. What are your thoughts?
Bill Belichick getting a college job, right? Or are you talking about him coming back?
So
back to the NFL.
The question, I'll give you the full question so that way we can make it fair. Did Bill Belichick go to North Carolina because of no interest from college teams? And do you think he will get an opportunity to get back to the NFL?
Good question. He said he was going there to win. So I mean, they did ask him, was he coming back or is he here to lose? I think he'll, like I said, I think he'll do fine with the college games. Many of them kids, know Bill Belichick. They know his history. They know he's won 6 Super Bowls. I think they would be jumping at trying to go to UNC. I honestly, I think after this, I don't think he would come back, and that's just my opinion. Especially if he goes out there and wins a natty, I don't think he would come back to the NFL.
That's not.
Will teams probably pitch him and offer him? Yeah, I honestly don't think he'll come back if he's successful in the college game.
That's fair. So let me give y'all a little background information on the whole Bill Belichick and North Carolina thing, right? Just to point, I actually agree with Keith. Let me give you some background information. So he met with UNC like over a week ago. They sat down, they chopped things out, but he gave them a 60-page plan for what he wanted for staff, coaches, all that stuff. So he was like, if this is something we can do, I would be more than happy to take the job. If this is something you don't feel like you can do, I understand, but I'll decline the position. So UNC went back, looked over the list, decided that it was reasonable and feasible. So they're gonna be doing that. The reason that that's important is he's gonna get things the Bill Belichick way for college. I think he's a big enough name. I think he's a name that only one name eclipses right now in college football, and that's of course Coach Prime.
Coach Prime.
But if you don't want to be in that style of offense, or you don't want to be a guy that's you want to be a player that has to do the Colorado thing, then I think UNC becomes a prime destination for you now. These are 2 programs that have guys who have succeeded at the NFL level. One as a player, now in the coaching ranks. One that was a multiple Super Bowl winning coach. Cheated on all of them, but multiple Super Bowl winning coach. So what we also realize now is UNC is going to become an organization or a college team that's going to cheat. Right? Like everybody can say what they want and you're being better. The truth is the truth. Bill Belichick is a cheater. That's why we call him Bill Belichick. We just call him that because we love Bill Belichick.
So can I add a little something to this real quick?
Add something, sir.
So as soon as Bill Belichick signed with North Carolina, how they allocate money for like NIL and like, to get, recruitment and NIL stuff, right? Yeah. So their initial NIL like budget was $4 million. That's what the school dedicated to, recruitment, signing players and getting talent to North Carolina. You know what it went to them after they signed Bill?
What's that?
20 million.
Oh, I've seen 200K. Now I seen that wrong.
That's what Prime bring a month to hold it.
And there's no surprise about it. This is North Carolina's original NIL budget package.
That's no surprise.
For the football program alone was $4 million.
So that's those parents, man. Those rich parents, man.
Then after Bill Belichick signing, the school allocated an additional 15 point something to raise it to 20 million.
That's not a surprise.
Bill Belichick.
That's one of the things that was part of his 60-page agreement that they had to agree to for him to come. You got to have the money to go get the kids. At the end of the day, if you want to compete,
I just wanted to add that in because like a $15.5 million increase.
Yeah, because now you have a coach that kids are going to want to come play for, but you still got to pay them.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So that's
This
like
is not-
that
this
just
is not-
goes to show the power that he has of bringing, hopefully bringing kids in there, bringing talent in there.
Bill Belichick understands this kind of football. Bill Belichick is probably even better than Deion Sanders, more equipped to handle this football because he was a GM and the head coach in New England. So he understands what it's going to take to get these kids in, how much money you're going to have to give them. The fact that this is not just, I want to come play for Coach Belichick. Not saying that they don't, but at the end of the day, they have to get those coins or they're not coming.
Or they're not, I just wanted to add that
turn the program around 2 to 3 years. This is how you have to do it. You have to bring in a face, and you have to have money set aside to pay these kids. Yep. These are things that are going to happen. As far as him getting back to the NFL, I think that absence makes the heart grow fonder. He goes to UNC. He makes the program better. They're going to say, well, maybe we should bring Coach Belichick back, to the NFL because he's been successful in college, and a lot of these same kids are going to be the ones that he's going to be now coaching in the NFL. But
Harbaugh.
I agree with Key. I don't think he's going to want to because he also took this job at UNC so that his son could succeed him as the head coach when he leaves UNC. So, just want to put that out there. I think some great points were made on this particular conversation, guys. I love it. Way to start the show.
Yeah.
All right,
before we close out college, though, shout out Travis Hunter.
Well, we're not really talking college. We're just calling Belichick because this is the NFL pregame report, not the college.
Still, shout out Travis Hunter. I just want to put that out there.
Hey, I can't wait to see that kid from Boise State run the football in a bowl game.
Jeanty.
Yep.
Who are they playing first?
All right. Y'all can talk about that in the chat, guys. We got a lot of NFL stuff we need to cover here, good people. All right. We got to hit this playoff picture. So, NFC, we'll go first. We went AFC first last time. So now we have 2 teams that have clinched in the NFC. Your number 1 seed right now, 12-1 Lions have clinched. And your number 2 seed, Philadelphia Eagles, at 11-2 have clinched. The Lions, of course, play Buffalo. That'll be a game we'll highlight. And the Eagles, of course, play Pittsburgh. Of course, that's a game we'll highlight as well. So those are going to be 2 very interesting games this week. The Philadelphia Eagles, with the win over Pittsburgh, can clinch the NFC East. Not the number 2 seed, but they can clinch the NFC East with a win. The Detroit Lions, not in so good of a situation because if you look down at the other teams, you got the Vikings at 11-2. They're right there. You got the Packers at 9-4. So you've got 2 teams there that can continue to win. And then the Commanders at 8-5 are the other wildcard teams. And then your other divisional winners right now are at number 3, the Seahawks at 8-5, and the Buccaneers at 7-6. And coincidentally, your number 3 Seahawks play your number 6 Green Bay Packers today. So that'll be an interesting matchup, I believe, as well. So with that information, the question, of course, is going to be, do we believe that things are going to stay as they are, or are we going to have some movement? And before you answer that, in case you're not looking yourselves, let me give you the other teams who I believe are in true contention. So NFC West, second place at 8-6 are the Rams. I believe they're still in contention to win that division. They play the 49ers. At number 9, the Falcons are 6-7. I believe they're still in contention. They're second in the NFC South. They play the Vegas Raiders today, so they should be having a really good game. We also technically have the Cardinals at 6-7 and the 49ers at 6-8, kind of still in contention. But I think they're more just not eliminated yet. You know, with 6 wins this late in the season and the 49ers with 8 losses already, it kind of hurts your ability to be in contention. And of course, you got the Saints at 5-8, Cowboys at 5-8, Bears at 4-9, Panthers at 3-10. I think these teams have already really been eliminated. They just haven't been mathematically eliminated yet. That only pleasure goes right now only to the New York Giants, who have been eliminated from playoff contention. So they can focus on understanding their assignment. So we'll start with Key and we'll swing around. Who do you think is going to do you think things are going to stay as they are in the NFC as far as where everybody's at and who's in? Or do you think there's going to be some teams drop off and some other teams hop in here?
I think Atlanta's going. Well, Atlanta has the Raiders. If they don't beat the Raiders today, I don't know who. It's time for Michael Penix to come in if they can't beat the Raiders. No Max Crosby, Desmond Ritter. So if I seen Atlanta's schedule and I seen Tampa's schedule. Tampa should win out and keep that South lead.
Yeah, because they've got the lead. I think they swept. Did they sweep the Falcons? I know they beat them at least once.
I know they still got the Saints and the Panthers left, but the Panthers could play spoiler to some teams now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've actually been competing these last couple games, and they was an Xavier Legette touchdown away from beating us. So I think Tampa wins that division because I just don't trust Kirk Cousins. Detroit's going to take an L. Just don't know when. I don't know if it's going to be against Minnesota or today against the Bills. If the Eagles get past Pittsburgh and they keep going through the rest of the division, that's going to change. So Detroit's going to lose. I think they're dropped down to 2, and Tampa's going to win the South.
Well, yeah, I remember the Vikings are around their tail too. They're also at 11-2. So depending on tiebreakers, if they lose again, they could go from 1st to 5th.
Right. Ooh, that is true. That's true. I keep forgetting about Minnesota. It's crazy. Minnesota is 11-2 and they number 5.
That's because it's Minnesota. That's why you keep forgetting. But
yeah.
Story for a different day.
Minnesota's been playing great as long as they keep Jefferson and Addison involved. They got T.J. Hockenson back at that running game with Aaron Jones. Their defense is okay. I can see Minnesota taking the North. And Detroit dropping. So that's my pick. I think Detroit's going to drop. They're going to lose a game or so. That if they lose to the Bills, that Minnesota game is going to be key. So that should be a good game. But I could see. I think Detroit's going to drop.
TJ, what you think?
I think really the only thing that could probably happen, because I'm really big on Detroit, so I don't think that's going to happen. But I do feel like the Seahawks and Rams could flip-flop because the Seahawks are still kind of that wishy-washy. You know, one week they look great, the next week they're a little sloppy. The Rams, though, man, they're heating up 7-2 in their last 9. Playing really good games. You know, they've proven they can win offensively or in a defensive battle as well. So I could see them flip-flopping in the standings there. But for the most part, I think the NFC is pretty much set.
All right, Bobby?
I think the NFC is pretty set. I mean, like I kind of agree with TJ with the Rams. They might jump just because I think they're playing a little more consistent football than some of the other fringe teams. I do think I just looked at Atlanta's schedule. The final 3 games for them are the Giants, the Commanders, and the Panthers. So they should win. They should win out. Should. But then again, I don't trust Kirk Cousins at all either. There could be 1 or 2 losses in there in the final 3 weeks. But I think the NFC is pretty set. I mean, there might be one team that flips or maybe jumps a spot and gets in, but not really. I think we're pretty set as it goes for the NFC.
All right, say it.
Yeah. Same thing. I mean, yeah, I could see maybe some movement with Atlanta and Tampa, and possibly with the Rams. More likely to see it with the Rams and Seattle. But Seattle's they've been playing a little tough lately too, so I don't know if they'll necessarily just lose out like that. But that would be where I would see. Dang, yeah, I could see flip flopping in the rankings, but I don't think really anyone else besides maybe Atlanta and the Rams could possibly get in.
That 6-7 spot. That 6-7 spot. Those are the ones that are up for grab. The rest is kind of set in stone.
Well, with Atlanta and the Rams, it'd be division leader spots because they just flip flop with Tampa Bay and Seattle.
Yeah.
So then they go 3-4.
So I want to slide 2 different things in there for everyone to pay attention to. So the Lions, right? Difficult last 4 games. They lose one of these games, they could slide. And depending on who they lose to, it could be the 2nd, it could be the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles still have to win out too. They could slide, or they could keep the number 2 position. They're not really going to slide because Minnesota could win every game and still not be number 2 over the Eagles because of the simple fact the Eagles are a division winner, and unless the Lions lose, Minnesota won't be. So Minnesota's either going to be 5 or 2. That really don't have a way to be anything other than that. And the Eagles and Cowboys are used to that because it's a lot of times us, right? Eagles and Cowboys are normally both in the playoffs. Obviously, only one of us this year, but normally both in the playoffs. And one can win a division, the other one has to be no higher than a 5 seed. I think Green Bay at 9-4. I'm feeling like that 6th position is pretty solid. I don't think that Atlanta is going to be consistent enough to make up a game on the Buccaneers. So I think the Buccaneers are going to make it. But here's where it gets interesting. The Rams have 2 opportunities to get in the playoffs. All they got to do is win. 2 possibilities. You can either be number 3 and win your division over the Seahawks, or you can be number 7 and knock the Commanders out. Because the Rams are 8-6. The Commanders are 8-5. The Commanders have yet to play today. They play New Orleans. They should win. But then they have 3 more games. And if I remember correctly, they, like the rest of the NFCs, we got to play each other again. And none of those games are given, i.e. the Commanders lost to the Cowboys. So you've got to play the Eagles again next week. You've got to play the Giants again. And I forgot who their other game is. But they have losable games. So if they lose and the Rams continue to surge, the Commanders could find themselves sitting outside. If they
So the Eagles' final 4 games look like this: the Steelers, the Commanders.
I can see it out the back of my head.
I said that. I said the Steelers and the rest of the division.
Yeah, it's basically the rest. So the Eagles should win out. They should.
That's not a guarantee.
No. But I'm just saying, if the Eagles play to their potential and they
everyone
continue
plays
to do what they're doing, but you know what I mean. If they play up to their potential, they just continue to do what they're doing.
But either way, the Lions have to lose for us to get number 1. Doesn't matter if we win every game. The Lions have to lose.
I'm looking at the Lions' rest of the games. And their best shot to lose would be against Buffalo coming up. The rest of their games are cakewalk.
Well, they have to play some divisional games too.
Yeah, or they have like the 10th hardest schedule remaining or something like that.
They got the Lions got the Bills, the Bears, the Niners, and the Vikings. Those are the ones that are left for them.
The Vikings are a game that they could lose.
They could absolutely lose because they would already have everything locked up and just.
And the Niners could be pissed that they're out of the playoff picture and say "F you" to the Lions. We're going to beat you just so you can lose.
Well, I don't know. Brock Purdy want that. Well, maybe because you want that contract.
Yep.
Yeah, true.
So, but the Rams can get in by besting the Seahawks.
Yep.
Or by catching up to the Commanders. So the Rams have I think, are the only other team because of that win. Had they lost, they wouldn't be in a situation. But because of that win, I think they put themselves right there where they can be 7 or 3.
Yeah. Depending on wins depending on who wins and loses. Yeah.
So there's that. I mean, obviously the Buccaneers are going to be there. The Vikings are going to be there. The Packers, I think, are pretty solid to get in. Yeah, they beat Seattle today. They can cause a ruckus, but we'll see how that goes. Of course, we'll pick that game. I don't think that's one of our highlight games, but we'll pick that game. But yeah, guys, that's our NFC playoff picture. So AFC playoff picture. We'll reverse this. I'll go first, and then we'll swing around. Said, Bobby, TJ, and Key. We'll let Key be. We'll save the best for last on this one with Key. All right, so AFC. 2 teams have clinched as well, the Chiefs and the Bills. Of course, we know the Bills play the Lions. Someone's going to win or someone's going to lose. Depending on who you are, is who you want to lose. Of course, if you're an Eagles fan, you want the Lions to lose, right? If you are a
it doesn't really matter.
The Bills. I'm like, wait a minute, some things got a little different. If you're a Dolphins, you are praying with everything that you have that the Bills are going to lose. But even if they lose, it's not going to really help you. But
they locked up that division already.
Yeah, they have. But I mean, you at least want to maybe they can fall in a little bit. And if you're a team like the Steelers, you're like, even if we lose, maybe they lose. And that way, they're still in sights of us getting over them to get this number 2 seed, right? Because if the Steelers and the Bills both lose, nothing changes. If the Steelers lose and the Bills win, a lot changes. So the Steelers definitely want the Bills to lose, just like the Eagles want the Bills to dog walk the Lions. Right? It's truth. I'm sure the Chiefs wouldn't be upset about that either. They might even call the referees and say, "Hey, can you help Buffalo out a little bit today? We appreciate that." We know that they use the referees. Let's not pretend they don't.
Right.
All right. So we talked about the Steelers. Of course, they play the Eagles. This is going to be a good game. The Texans are 4th. They're number 1 in the AFC South. I'm looking at that South, and the Colts are 6 and 7. Nobody else is even close. So I'm pretty confident the Texans are going to keep their position. Ravens are 8 and 5. It's going to be hard for them to, I think, catch the Steelers. So they're probably going to stay at that wild card unless the Steelers just kind of fall and they find a way to elevate. I think they'll both be in the playoffs. But I think it's going to be hard for that. They're the first wild card, of course. They play the Giants today, so the Ravens have a game they should win. Texans play Miami today. Miami's got a lot to play for, trying to find a way into the playoffs. I don't know if they do, but you at least want to have that hope, right? You at least want to have that hope. Chargers are 6. They're 8 and 5 as well. They play Tampa Bay today, so that's another game that could be very interesting with some playoff implications. And then the Broncos are 3rd in their division right now, but 8 and 5. They play the Colts, so they too have a winnable game. So there's a lot of teams right there that have winnable games. And speaking of the Colts, they play the Broncos. They're 6 and 7. They're on the bubble. I think they have an outside chance, to make the playoffs. Again, 2 ways. Either they catch up to the Broncos, or the Texans somehow fall off. And they
can catch the Chargers. They can catch the Chargers too. The Chargers lose out because Broncos and Chargers still play one more.
Yeah, they have the same record, but you would need. When I look at it, I think the Chargers were playing Tampa Bay today. I feel like they're going to win that game. So with that being said, I feel like that's going to. Once you give them 9 wins, and you look at the Chiefs, the Colts with 6, unless they beat the Broncos, that's going to pretty much separate them. The Colts have a chance because they play the Broncos today. Honestly, I feel like if they didn't play the Broncos, they probably don't have a chance because it's going to be hard to make up 2 games in 4 games. It's going to be even harder to make up 2 games with 3 games in 3 games. You feel what I'm saying?
True.
So I think if they didn't play the Broncos, they wouldn't even have a chance. Because
I'm just thinking if the Chargers lose and then the Colts lose, obviously this week, but then the Colts went out and the Chargers lose out. I think there's a possibility.
I don't think the Chargers are going to lose out. Though. I looked at the rest of the schedule. I don't remember, but I don't think they're going to lose out. I think they've got another bunny game in there. I remember.
I think it's the Raiders.
Yeah, I think they play the Raiders again. So yeah, I don't think they're going to lose, even if they lose today. So I think their best bet is if they beat the Broncos or if something weird happens with the Texans. Obviously, like you said, because 8-5, you still got the Ravens and the Chargers technically there, but the Colts don't play them this week. So I don't really feel like, they have a chance to really, win. I don't think the Colts are going to win. I'm just saying that's their only chance. Officially eliminated from the playoffs, the Jets, Titans. Oh, wow. Let me get the full list here. My bad, y'all. It's longer in the AFC. We're a lot longer in the AFC. So the Ravens are out at 2-11. The Patriots at 3-10 are out. The Titans at 3-10 are out. The Jets at 3-10 are out. The Jaguars at 3-10 are out. And the Browns at 3-10 are officially eliminated. So the only teams that they're saying even have a chance are the 6-7 Colts, the 6-7 Dolphins, and the 5-8 Bengals. Let me say this: the Bengals are eliminated. They may not be mathematically eliminated. They're out of there. The Dolphins
get so many points.
They're eliminated. Like
Dolphins are probably done too.
Yeah, the Dolphins are probably done. If Houston takes care of them this week, they're done. If Denver takes care of the Colts, they're done.
Yeah,
and the AFC set. Right. Only thing that could happen in is the placement of
Denver's probably going to get in, right?
Denver is getting in. Ain't no probably to it, bro.
No, but that's what I'm saying. As long as I think from what I saw, as long as Denver wins today, they're in.
Yeah.
All right, guys. All on you, Big Seb. Your thoughts?
Denver for the smash through. We coming through, man, and we taking another spot with us. So we coming at about 6 at least into the playoffs, ready to go, ready to roll. We know what's up. We know our assignment. But either way, as far as movement, like you guys were saying, I don't think there really is gonna be. I think there's a lot less room for movement here than in the NFC, because I mean the top 2 teams are set. There ain't the Bills had their chance. That was their game last week to kind of keep up with the Chiefs and hope that the Chiefs lost, and they can't. There's no switching there. The other 2 division leaders, I think the Steelers could possibly. I mean, I don't see how Baltimore could catch the Steelers now. They lost them twice. Did they play twice? I don't know. Whatever. But and then the Texans, I don't, like you said, maybe the Colts can maybe win out and maybe catch the Texans, but I don't foresee that. So yeah, I mean, I see the only movement possibility could be at the bottom down there with the Chargers, Baltimore, and the Broncos. And you never know, maybe Baltimore melt down, right? There's all this pressure on Lamar Jackson going into. I hope they don't. I love the team, but it is possible.
I want to see Baltimore get in.
They're probably going to get in more than likely.
I think they could wreak some havoc if they get in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I don't see any movement, and I'll take it, man. If we could have this Houston-like trajectory and then come and win our division next year, I'm with it, man. Give it to me. Let's go.
The referees are not letting you win your division, sir.
Oh, we're doing it. The Chiefs Pat Mahomes will get hurt like that season Tom Brady got hurt in the second. Was it the first or second game?
Don't matter. When you got the referees on your side, you can put me at quarterback. I can win.
We're coming through, man. Sean Payton making the case for. We'll talk about it.
They got that dark magic. The Chiefs got that dark magic on their side too.
All right, Bobby. Go ahead, Bobby. What do you got with AFC playoffs?
I agree with Sed. I think the only movement's going to happen down bottom. I think pretty much I think Baltimore does have a chance if Baltimore wins out. I think they have a shot at getting in. If Baltimore does get in, I think they could wreak havoc if they do. If they do, they're going to be a matchup nightmare for somebody.
Playoffs are their type of game. That's their game.
That's what I mean. Like that's what I'm saying. If they get in, Baltimore could be the one that really throws a wrench in.
Baltimore's going to get in, sir. They're going to get in. They just may not win the division.
They don't need it.
So then if they get in, they're going to be a lower seed. Then they're getting into the second round. And whoever they play, if it's a fair matchup, like I said, they could really throw a wrench in the AFC. Because that offense is a cold weather offense.
Yep. TJ, what are your thoughts, sir?
I think TJ froze.
He's there.
And he's muted.
Yeah, you're on mute, TJ.
Oh, he's stuck in the multiverse.
Yeah, he's stuck in the multiverse.
You just can't believe that the Steelers are in the playoffs.
He's trapped in the multiverse.
But we'll come back to TJ once he gets out the multiverse. Key, what are your thoughts?
I'm agreeing with said and Bobby. I don't think anything's going to happen up top wise. It's going to be towards the bottom because the 3 teams is 8-5. So somebody down there is going to between 5 and 7. That's going to switch.
Okay, yeah, that can switch from week to week. TJ, you back with us?
I think so.
Okay, there you go. What are your thoughts, sir?
I don't really see too much movement in the AFC side either. I could see the Broncos getting in, making a little bit of a run with the way Bo Nix, and the offense has really gotten better as the season's progressed. But, yeah, I mean, I could see maybe the Steelers jumping the Bills, but it's just that's a really tough stuff for me. Honestly, I'm afraid that they're going to give up the division to the Ravens because they have the toughest last 4 games of the season by any team. So they could easily go 1-3, 2-2, or even 0-4. Who knows? So yeah, but for the most part, for me, it would just be the Broncos maybe sneaking in and making a little bit of noise.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'd like to see Sean Payton and the Broncos knock somebody off they're not supposed to. I'd love to see that.
Let's go. I'm with it.
You might. We'll see how
Patrick Mahomes.
No, I think it'd be like the Bills.
That would be amazing if he knocked off Patty.
If the Broncos took out the Chiefs, I would hit up Sed's PayPal.
Tom Brady's hoping that too. So, because I mean, if they 3-peat,
that wouldn't happen to the second round. So we'd have to get to the second round. For
exactly.
That.
We get to the second round. That first round, though.
All right. So we got to move on here, guys. Who is your coach of the year candidate? Let's start with Bobby on this one. Who do you have for coach of the year?
Peyton, easily. Sean Payton. The Broncos started out bad, man. They
really
did not look good. It took a little bit of adjusting, and as they, every couple of games, you would see a little bit of improvement. That team has come so far from game 1 to now. So far.
And Sid, I know you're going to say the same thing.
I give it to.
So you just go ahead and hop in there with Bobby because I know you're going to say the same thing.
Yeah, man. Sean Paul, SP.
Sean Paul.
Yes, sir. Nah, for reals. I mean, it was a lot of talk about a lot of different stuff at the beginning of the season, and we turned around, man, really, really quick. I just want to throw another one out there too. I mean, I'd even say Mike Tomlin. It's a Super Bowl mood. I don't think we've seen that before. At least I don't remember it, and see the team still be as dominant, if not more dominant, and continue to move and take their division. So that's the only other one I foresee if the Steelers do happen to win the division. I could see Mike Tomlin maybe sneaking over Sean Payton. But yeah, Sean Payton, there's a lot of good coaches, right? Harbaugh out there with the Chargers looking good.
So
but I don't want to go
to everybody and take everybody from everybody else.
Yeah, it's actually a good season. Sorry,
no, TJ, go because Sid about to try to name everybody. Go TJ. This guy.
Well, he already took mine now. No, I'm just playing. Honestly, I would say I'm not going to say the Broncos or Sean Payton because, respectfully, I'm not surprised that they're doing pretty good right now. That's right. They had some pieces coming together and everything else. One team that you kind of never expected to get out of the mud this fast, the Commanders. I'd say Dan Quinn. He's completely changed the culture there. He has them winning ahead of schedule, and they're still losing some games. # state of PA. But, at the end of the day, they're winning more games than they were before. They're
state of PA.
Close.
There's no lies in what he said.
The main problem was they could hang in games with Ron Rivera, but they couldn't get over that hump. But with Dan Quinn, they're winning more than just getting close. So I think he's shown the most improvement with a rookie quarterback. Everything else, I'd say Dan Quinn.
Nice.
He has done it. He has done a really good job with Jaden Daniels. 100%.
I don't dislike it. Key, who you got?
Nick Sirianni. I'm just joking. I would never say that. That's my thing.
Nicky,
I
come
know that
on,
was a joke.
Nicky tight pants.
I know that was a joke.
Hey,
I'm
you put the
gonna
fans
go
in check. You put the fans in check.
I'm gonna go with Dan Campbell.
Hey,
Dan Campbell. I mean, the since he got there, I know the lot. Rome is not built in a day. So yes, the first year head coach, you're going to have some trials and tribulations. They figured it out. They went as far as the NFC Championship game, and then now look at them now, 11-1. So, and Dan Campbell rides for his guys. He's a player's type of coach, but he don't take no stuff except when he goes for fourth downs occasionally. Just take the points, Dan. Just take the points, like we say to Nick. Take the points. But he's done a great job with that locker room. So I'm gonna go with Dan Campbell.
I'm gonna go with DeMeco Ryans.
ooh,
DeMeco Ryans has navigated
all
the sophomore slump for his quarterback. Still
Yep.
at 8-5.
Yep, true.
Defense still looks really well.
Mhm.
And this is only his second year as a head coach as well, right?
With no receivers.
Yeah, his best receivers have been, his top two receivers have been hurt most of the year.
Mhm.
That's a good pick too, man. He has done well in that. So, like, because a lot of those quarterbacks, those young QBs, do hit that wall pretty hard.
Yeah, he's navigated that strongly. So I got to give him some props for that. I know if Coach Dante sees this, he'll definitely be clapping his head. He'll be snapping his fingers and stomping his feet. So he'll love that. But yeah, I mean, I think he's done a really great job, consistently for this season, even with challenges. So, I mean, That's the type of guy you want. That's the type of guy. But I think, honestly, everyone that we've named here has at least a partial claim to be in the conversation.
Mhm.
That's what's great about it. All right, guys. So we got to move on here. You know what I'm saying? Because we are doing the thing. And not just doing the thing, but we're really doing the thing.
Let's ride.
So, coaches on the hot seat, please just give us one said.
What's that?
I said, please just give us one said, but coaches that are on the hot seat.
Oh man.
Go ahead, sir.
I was gonna say Josh McDaniels. Or not Josh, what's his name down in Miami?
I was about to say Josh is going.
Mike
McDaniels?
Mike McDaniels. One of those Daniel dudes. Yeah. I think Mike McDaniels down in Miami, man, continuously, like, they've known that their quarterback has had concussion issues and they have not, built that lineup to be the best offensive line in the NFL to guard that quarterback. And they're just kind of run a bit dull. I mean, they have the fastest receiver, probably the best receiver in the game in Tyreek, and been underutilized. A lot of, player controversy, like a lot of like confusion in the backfield and the,
weapons in general. In general, they haven't surrounded him with. They've surrounded him with next to nothing.
Who?
Tua.
Well, he has Tyreek. He has Waddle. He has AJ.
No,
he has all these pieces, and they just can't.
Listen.
Lyman, yeah. No, they haven't given him anything for
Lyman.
Lyman. That's what I'm saying. That's where they should have been building. And he's had all this time. They just gave, Tua all this money, and they may not, they're probably going to have to pay this guy out.
He's got all these weapons, and he's got about a second and a quarter to throw the football to him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, Bobby, who's your coach on the hot seat?
Oh, come on. It's Mike McCarthy, man.
Okay.
If you're asking me another one too,
no, I'm not asking another one. Just Mike McCarthy. That's cool. That's fine. Just Mike McCarthy. TJ, you got it.
It's McCarthy. They something has to change down there. They have to.
Coach Prime.
All right, TJ, what about you?
I'd say I'll keep it in the division and say Zach Taylor.
Oof.
That's not a bad one at all.
That's not a bad. Yeah, that's not a bad pick either.
Let him get out of there so he can come and be our OC. I'm just saying.
It's a what have you done for us lately? And lately, not so good. We've seen it in this league before. It doesn't matter even if you just won one a few years ago, but even getting to one a few years ago, that doesn't really matter anymore. What are you doing this year? And this year, you're basically already out of the playoffs. So I'd say he's definitely on the hot seat.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Rumors are that he's lost the locker room too.
Mm.
The record shows us that. Yeah.
Brian Dable.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
He's not fired already.
No, they didn't let him go. I think he's it's done. I mean, it's not his fault, but I mean, it's not all his fault. But
It is.
Giants organization is just a dumpster fire. So I'm going to go with Dable.
You want to know why I would contradict that? Because he never got to pick his quarterback. That's why I think he needs one more year.
I got another one.
Well, I haven't went yet, sir.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who you got?
Yeah, I haven't went yet, sir. You're jumping the gun on me, sir. You're not giving me my option.
You got a good one.
Who you got,
So-
Cole?
There's a couple of guys that I'm debating through because some of them, my logic says them, but my mind's telling me somebody else. Well,
Yeah.
my heart's telling me one thing, my mind's telling me one thing. But I'm gonna keep it real simple. The guy I think that has underachieved the most and needs to be fired is Doug Peterson. His seat should be on fire. He should have third-degree burns on his derriere and his back at this point.
He's not fired.
He is
No,
not fired.
he's still down there.
See, that's the organization's fault right there.
Yeah.
Fool me
So that's
once.
the guy I picked. Now, said I know that's not who you have because you didn't even know he was still there. So who else do you have?
Antonio Pierce with the Raiders.
Oh, the Raiders.
My heart
yep.
says no.
Yeah,
My heart
I
says
can
no.
see that because it hasn't really been his team, but I think they really need a coach in there, and they're realizing that they need especially in this division where the other three coaches could be candidates for Coach of the Year.
But you have to give a guy time.
You
You have to give a guy time. You got to get cowards out of the locker room. When you bring in a coach, I think you give him 1 year and you fire him, you basically admit we suck because we couldn't provide a new coach that's never been a head coach before with enough for us to believe in him for a second year.
I could see that, but I don't know. It's just
That's not
hard.
the issue.
It's just hard.
I don't know how
when
you
lose
guys
action.
feel, but I don't know how you guys feel, but head coaches to me get at least 2 or 3 seasons before
That's how I feel.
before you make a judgment on them.
I feel
Is this
that's
his
how
first
it
season?
needs to be.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is his first season. Good or
Okay.
bad, you got to give him a couple years. All
Well,
right,
he'll probably get his quarterback next year, so yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, you get the quarterback. I think you turn a lot
Shador?
around and you draft some pieces.
Like if the Raiders had a halfway decent
I
quarterback, they wouldn't be this bad.
Shador?
All right, and the
And,
next
you know,
question.
if they had somebody, if they had a halfway decent quarterback, they'd have 5 or 6. They'd have 6 wins.
The next question, guys. The race for the number 1 pick. Who do we think will win it? Right now, there's 2 candidates. There's a bunch of 3-10 teams, but there's only 2 teams that are horrid enough right now to be the number 1 pick. And that is the New York Giants at 2-11, and that is the Vegas Raiders at 2-11. Now, if you want to include like the Patriots, Titans, Jets, Jaguars, Browns, Panthers, you can. But I feel like these 2-win teams are head and shoulders above in the worst way everyone else in getting the number 1 pick. I'm going to actually go Vegas because I think that they just said, you know what,
Same.
pack it in.
Same.
We'll take the number 1 pick.
Dang.
Look at how the Raiders handled this game, this upcoming game. Cole. They're in full tank mode. They're in full tank mode. They are not playing to win any of the final 3 games.
Who the Giants got starting at quarterback, though?
Drew Lock.
DeVito?
Oh no, is it DeVito or is it Drew?
No,
Drew
Drew
Lock.
Lock's out.
Drew Lock. Yeah,
Drew
it's
Lock.
back to the.
Vito
It's back
started
to,
because Drew Lock was hurt.
it's back
Yeah.
to Danny Cutlets.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
back
so.
to DeVito. Yeah, I thought so. So
Oh, well, it doesn't really matter. They're both the same.
That's what I'm saying. They don't got no quarterback, man.
sucks.
So the Raiders' schedule from here on out is the Falcons, the Jags. I can even see the Jags beating them, and that's sad. The Saints and the Chargers, and then the
Falcons
Giants.
going to beat them today.
Yeah, that's why I said they may not lose. They may not win a game on out.
Right.
And the Giants have the Ravens, the Falcons, the Colts, and the Eagles. They may not win out either.
They'll probably beat the Colts.
He could beat the Colts.
And they might beat the Eagles because the Eagles may have nothing to play for.
What? Oh,
Hopefully.
yeah.
The Eagles,
Hopefully.
I still think our backups can beat the Giants.
Yeah.
I mean, they can. They can.
by the time they play the Eagles, the Eagles will already know where they stand.
Mm-hmm.
But if we put Kenny Pickett at quarterback, that'll be even game.
Mm-hmm. And take out Saquon. Yeah.
Well, we got Kenny G and Shipley. I mean, I think they can get the running game going. I think then some of our offensive linemen.
I don't think the Giants are going to win that game though. The last game,
that they're going to run the ball because Kenny Pickett is a quarterback.
For the Eagles fans, right?
The crazy part is our backup offensive lineman is still good, so they might even give them the running backs a running lane. That's the crazy part.
I think by the time the Eagles play them, they're already going to know their fate. You know what I mean?
But that's what I was thinking. So they may just say, "No."
Saquon is like 4 or 5 yards from beating ED's record. You're going to see.
Record, yeah.
Let him beat the record, and then they'll sit him.
He gonna break it. He gonna get right there. Saquon gonna get right there to the record and say, "I do it for the team. It's for the team."
I'd like to see Saquon beat the record against. I'd like to see Saquon beat the record against Dallas. That would be
he would like to see himself beat against the Giants. Actually,
again, I was gonna say against the Giants would be where it would be done. He would wait against the Giants, and then he would do it.
He's at 436. I mean,
you give him a 20-yard run against the Giants to break the record.
Oh,
and then sit him the whole rest of the game.
And then go sit down. Right.
Yeah,
sit
down before that game even starts, though. I want him to do it in I don't even want him to play that week. I want him to do it before then because I want to be able to say that he did it in the same amount of games that Eric Dickerson did, and I don't want to hear no trash about this last game. So I want him to go ahead and do it by week 17 because I only want him to have to play in the game.
How many shy is he?
436.
So that's 100 and he needs 130.
10 yards.
He needs 130 for the next 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, I think Saquon's gonna have a big one this week.
But if he can get 130 yards in the next 3 games, he'll be good.
Oh, that's smashing it.
Yeah, he got to get 110. About 110 a game.
Wait, in 3 games? You said
that's
well, that's 4. I did it in 4. But
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm figuring 130, 135 in 3 games, and he'll be good.
In 3 games or 4?
I think you want to do it by week 16 because you want to be able to say you had the same amount of games.
That's 3 games, at least about 145. He got to do
150, 160.
He can get 150. He can get 150 a game. I think he might have another.
I don't know why Saquon is not here in Denver. Oh, that pissed me off, man.
145 a game. That's what he needs to do it in 3. 145.
All right. So, guys, we're going to drop over to the highlighted matchups for the week.
Oh, man.
First matchup, Buffalo Bills, Detroit Lions. Who you got? Quick wise. We got to, make up a little time. We've been having some side discussions, and, hey, I've been part of them, so I'm not trying to blame anybody. But we'll start with you, Key. Who you got winning this game?
I got Buffalo. I think Buffalo's going to redeem themselves. I know they came back last week, but it was a little bit too late. I think that call on the 1-yard line to get Josh Allen in the end zone was a bad decision, in my opinion. I mean, I respect them going for it, but they didn't get it. They just came back too late. Even with Josh Allen's 6 touchdowns, it still wasn't enough for them. I think they got a chip on their shoulder, and they're getting their guys back. Keon Coleman's coming back. Some of the guys that was hurt to be back. I got the Bills in this game.
TJ, who you got?
I have the Detroit Lions. I need them as a Steelers fan and an AFC fan, but I also do think that that Detroit is a little bit better than the Bills, and either way, it's going to be an awesome matchup, potential Super Bowl matchup. So, but I think the Lions edge them.
All right, Bobby.
Detroit in a close one. I think it's going to be back. I think they're going to exchange points back and forth. I think Detroit with the last possession, and they win by 7.
Dang.
Say who you got.
Man, I know Buffalo mad about last week, but that don't matter this week because they're playing the Lions. The Lions are going to smack them in the mouth. I think we'll see more of what we saw last week where it's a little bit too much speed for them on the Lions offensive side. because they're a lot more deadly than the Rams. And I think that'll just be a little bit too much for the Bills to overcome as well. So I got the Lions.
Buffalo, you have one job. You hear me? One mother plucking job. That's one job, Buffalo. And I believe you get the job done today because the media wants him to be MVP, Josh Allen.
Nope.
You got to start thinking about this thing too, though. Like we sit here, we pick the game just based off players. We got to start thinking about the totality of this thing. Who's everybody in the media? Who's everybody trying to tout to be the MVP?
Patrick Mahomes.
No, Josh Allen.
The GOAT. Pat Mahomes.
No, they're talking about
back to back.
No, they're talking about Josh Allen.
Nah, this year they're pulling for Josh Allen.
Yep. And you know why they're pulling for Josh Allen? Because they understand that you need something new. If Patrick Mahomes wins again, the world starts to hate him. But if he doesn't win the MVP this year and the Chiefs don't win the Super Bowl, then everybody loves the Chiefs.
It's all about the narrative, cool.
Yeah, but you don't need to win the MVP.
It's all about the narrative.
He can still play hero ball and lose.
No, he doesn't need to win the MVP. But if he doesn't win the MVP and they don't win the Super Bowl, then everybody loves the Chiefs again. And then they can go repeat the next 2 years after that again with the help of the referees.
I got this for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'm going Buffalo in a convincing win. I know that Said doesn't agree, but I do believe last week sometimes matters. And when you lose a game that you feel like you should have won and you sit there all week and your coach keeps playing the film for you throughout the building and showing you what you did wrong and reminding you how you lost to a team that you shouldn't have lost to, it does make a difference.
And then you go and play a team that you're gonna lose to. That's a difference. If they're going up against like a Jaguars or Colts or someone, then
I gotta be honest with you.
Business taking that L to the Rams.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. But I think people hold a whole lot more esteem for Detroit than they really deserve. I'm not saying Detroit's not a good team, but they're not an unstoppable juggernaut force.
They seem like it a lot of times,
or neither are anybody else. They're not going out there and just dog walking everybody. They're winning some games, impressive.
What are they? They're like plus 132 in point differential on second quarter alone. They are dominating teams.
We're minus like 200 in the first quarter, and we still won 9 games in a row. So a quarter differential does not mean anything.
You're right.
They're
unstoppable in a second.
It's how you finish the game too. You could be terrible in the first quarter, but
there's been a couple of games when we watch.
If your point differential in the fourth is off the charts, then that's all that matters.
There's a couple of games that Detroit could have lost here the last couple of weeks. There's a couple of games the Eagles could have lost here in the last couple of weeks.
Or they
Chiefs
did.
And the Bills too. Either could have.
That's what winners do. There's always going to be a couple games you can lose. It's the NFL, right? These are all professional teams.
You're not when you're saying a team is a juggernaut. When you're saying that to me, what I'm thinking is a team that's going out there and 21 plus point dog walking everybody every week. That's a juggernaut.
What team has done that recently?
7 points, missed field goals, things like that. I don't consider you a juggernaut. And then, like I said, that includes the Philadelphia Eagles. They're not a juggernaut either.
I don't know. I feel like if you win the games that you're supposed to win, and then you go out there and you win the games you're not supposed to win as well too, I think that's what a juggernaut is. So yeah, squeaking out those victories. Because bad teams lose those games. Bad teams lose those games. Bad teams miss the field goal and at the end of the game after taking it all the way down. How many juggernauts
do you see in the NFL? Because if you're saying by your own definition, if you're saying that
the Chiefs right now,
a juggernaut, you've got to say the Buffalo's a juggernaut too, because they're doing the same thing.
And I mean, the Chiefs are 12-1. They've tied 30 points once this season. They haven't gone over 30 points this
But according to your definition,
they're still a juggernaut. Yeah. They're dominant. They're winning the games.
To you. None of those teams are juggernauts to me.
They're winning the games they're supposed to win, man. That's what you're supposed to do in the NFL. That's the goal. Doesn't matter how you win the game. Doesn't mayer how you win the game. You don't get fashion points.
Well, Herm Edwards said it best. We live to play the game.
Exactly.
You do play the game to win, right? Don't disagree.
Doesn't matter how you win. A win is a win. Doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Vin Diesel told me that.
There's another plane towing a sign over MetLife Stadium again.
But who's beating these teams though? Who's beating them right now? No one. Obviously, that's why they have 2 losses. That's why they have 1 loss. Because
but
no one else is beating them.
You've got two of the teams that are juggernaut that you consider juggernauts playing, and you're saying one's going to drag the other. That just doesn't.
I didn't say they're going to drag them.
them.
I didn't say they're going to drag them. I'm just saying Buffalo couldn't handle the Rams' speed last week. They're not going to be able to come close to handling the Lions' speed. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
I feel you. I don't know.
I'm just a fan. I just watch the games. I don't coach
no,
them.
I mean, I'm just trying to get clarity. You could be completely right. They could go out there and beat them down. You know,
I didn't say they're going to beat them down. They may not beat them down. It may be a close game, but a win's a win.
I'm just asking, you know, I'm trying to get understanding as to why you feel the way you do about it. That's all.
I just feel like Detroit has approached every single game the exact same way this entire season. Going into last season, going into when they beat Green Bay on Aaron Rodgers' last game. They came into that game to just dominate you. They come into that game to just play football. They don't care who gets the ball. They don't care who has the hot hand. They don't care who scores touchdowns. You may see Jameis Williamson may see a mad face once in a while. You're not seeing anything on this team. They're just coming there to do work, man. Their coach got them biting ankles. They're doing what they need to do to win games, and that's all I'm saying. And then on defensive side, man, they have some really amazing cornerbacks over there in Detroit. Buffalo ain't got no receivers, man. I don't care what nobody say.
They dudes are back this week. Keon Coleman back.
Well, Buffalo
quarterbacks having to run
got
for
enough
500
receivers
yards.
to get Keon Coleman was out. They still got Shakir. They still was using a running game.
And they still got old boy from Detroit. And I mean, not from Detroit.
They got Cooper.
Yeah, they got Cooper over there.
They have them. These are not. Sure, you're right. These are not top receivers in the game, though.
Yeah,
they still winning without them.
Exactly. That's why they're a juggernaut. That's why they're a juggernaut, because they're finding ways to win. Bad teams would lose those games. Bad teams would say we don't have any receivers. Bad teams would say we don't have this, we don't have that. So we're just gonna roll over. We're gonna give up our season. We're gonna go 3-10. We're gonna go 2-11. No, they're 11-2, 12-1, whatever it may be. Why? Because they have the determination to win. That's what juggernauts do. That's what winners do. That's why I call them juggernauts. That's why they've locked up their divisions already. That's why there's no one that can take their spot for the most part, aside from a complete meltdown.
All Minnesota got to do is win one game against them, and they can take their spot. Against Detroit. Minnesota's one game behind them, and they play. And if they beat them, that means they'll have a better divisional record. So
then I'll say Minnesota's a juggernaut. They're right there too. They're literally out of it just because of the way the division is set up, the way the playoffs are set up. They would be right there in it if it was just the top teams that made the playoffs, not just the top division teams. But
I mean, you got to have the divisional winners have a bonus.
Yes, that's how you give them their consolation prize. And you got division leaders like the NFC South with losing records, you know.
Every year somebody's gonna suck. Like every year,
exactly. And that team that sucks should go down to 6. That team that sucks should lose their home field advantage. That's how it should be. You got a really crappy record, man. Lose that home field advantage. You don't need it.
If you beat the teams that you're supposed to beat and win your division,
true, then
you should get a top seed.
There can only be one division leader in each division.
If you aren't good enough, then you just lose on the at home.
True. True.
It's not like the better teams are getting pushed out of the playoffs. They're just not getting the first game as a home game. That's the big thing, right?
That's true. I mean, it doesn't matter where you play in the playoffs either. Like we've seen the Giants come off a 9-5 season and dominate the playoffs. So, it's very true.
All right, guys. Eagles, Steelers. Let's start with Bobby, and then Said, then Key, then me, and we'll let TJ go last. We'll make it fair here. It's 2 Eagles people, so we gotta let TJ go
last. I'm rooting for the Steelers, but I believe the Eagles are going to win.
He's such a jerk.
I am rooting for the Steelers, though, because screw you guys. But I like the Eagles. I like the Eagles run game. I like old school. I like seeing old school football come back. I like how they run the ball. When the Eagles run the ball consistently, when Nicky Tight Pants, loosens his fucking belt up a little bit and like doesn't go against the grain. If the run is working, run the ball 50 times, right? Don't get too cute. Just run it. You guys have one of the best offensive lines in football. Run the damn ball. And if Saquon needs a break, you got 3 other running backs that can do the job behind that offensive line. Run the friggin' ball. It's the playoffs. It's cold weather. Hurts doesn't have to throw the ball 40 times when you got a running back like Barkley. Let the kid eat. That's all I'll say. Eagles are probably going to win this game. I would think the Steelers, though, with playing as good as they're playing and just being as scrappy as they are, it's not going to be easy. They're going to have to work for this one.
Fair enough. Say it.
Yeah. I want them both to lose. They both suck. Both garbage. But I tell you what, for my playoff, my fantasy football playoff hopes, I hope that Jalen Hurts is throwing the ball 40 times and A.J. Brown gets 250 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns, and they still lose.
If that happens, there's no way they will lose.
I mean,
if A.J. Brown scores 4 touchdowns, there's no way we lose.
Mike Tomlin just straight said he is going to ride this season. He said, I'm passenger princess to Russ, and he just kicked back. He's been riding the whole season. Russ has lost, 2 games since he's been starter, or 1 game maybe. They're on a heater, man. They got their eyes set on this NFC East. So we'll see how it goes, and maybe hopefully it'll end in a tie. And neither one of them get a win.
That would help us too, by the way.
Huh?
That would help us too.
I know, that's the thing. You can't both lose. You can't both lose the game. And I guess
the loss helps the Eagles.
I don't know. I hope they both lose. I need them both to lose.
I respect that hate.
Hopefully the fourth quarter goes back and forth, so both of y'all are pacing. You don't know what's going on.
That's every game for the Eagles, so that's nothing new for us, sir. If that doesn't happen, we'd be more concerned. What you got?
I'm getting a phone call. Cool, you know why, but I'll be back.
Okay, cool. I got you. So I'll go ahead and. So here's my thing. AJ's been a squeaky reel this week. BG said some stupid stuff. By the way, BG, got to lose some respect for you as a leader on that team for doing that.
Who's BG again?
Brandon Graham.
Oh, okay,
yes. Got to lose a little respect for you for doing that, right? You can't go out and say that. That's not something that you move a certain way with in your doing podcasts, doing shows, talking about certain things. First of all, you don't have all the information. You can't. AJ Brown came out and said, "Hey, this dude don't know what's popping between me and Jalen personally." Could there be some strain on their relationship professionally? Absolutely, because now, since they got back from the break, the Eagles are only throwing the ball an average of 22 times a game, and it's actually 21.444444. I did the math, but we'll round it up to 22 times a game. So you got a receiver who likes to eat, who wants to make the big plays, who wants to get the yards and the recognition. And you only have 22 attempts a game, not completions, attempts. So what that means is you're only getting maximum 8 targets.
You got 79 yards.
Yeah, if AJ gets 8, Devontae's got to get, let's say, 6, right? That's 14 right there. You've only got 8 more carries, and we haven't even talked about, catches. We have throws. We haven't even talked about getting 3 or 4 to Calcaterra. So Calcaterra gets his 4, right? So you add 8 and 6. Mathematically, it's 14. You add 4 more, that's 18. You only got 4 left. Saquon's getting a couple of catches in games. You got Johnny Wilson, who's getting at least a target or 2 a game. Then you've got our number 3, who they don't want to throw the ball to, who may get 1 or 2 a game. So it's hard in that scenario for a Devontae Smith or AJ Brown not to be frustrated. You brought in guys that are high-end receivers, guys that want the ball. And you're only giving them a total of 22 opportunities a game in the last 9 games. We're not talking about 3 games. We're not talking about 5 games. We're talking about 9 football games. So frustration is going to happen. So what's going to happen today? This is what I will tell you. The ball is going to be forced to A.J. Brown. It's going to be schemed to A.J. Brown because the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Kellen Moore has come out and said that. Saquon, I think, will still do his thing because it's Saquon, but it's going to need to be a couple of big runs. The Steelers are going to run the ball on the Eagles. They're going to try to minimize Russ' ability to have a turnover because he's got 5 and 7 games. They're going to try to minimize his opportunities to do that. They're going to attack Jalen Hurts from the left side with blitz pressure because when you do that, that's when he runs backwards. And that's when you sack him 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage because he runs backwards for some reason instead of throwing the ball away. They're going to come at him. They're going to be the great defense that the Steelers have, right? They may not be the top defense, but that's been a great defense for a long time. Guys leave, guys come in, but they always find the right guys for that system to be really good. So the Eagles are going to have a dogfight, win or lose. Of course, as my team, I believe they are going to win. But at the same time, this is not a game that I'm walking into saying, oh, the Eagles definitely win. But the Eagles, I'm putting my faith in my team, the Eagles will win. But this is going to be definitely the toughest game we have left on the schedule, with the exception of maybe next week against the Commanders. There's also that little bit of concern that we look kind of past the Panthers, I think, to this game. If we look past this game to the Commanders next week, things could go ugly, but I don't believe we will. I think last week was a good wake-up call. It was like a trap game that we somehow found a way to win. So hopefully that's our wake-up call. We're going to go out here and do what we need to do. But no guarantees, but I am picking my Philadelphia Eagles to get the win. TJ, what do you have? And then we'll end with Keith since he's back now.
Well, I kind of have to agree with Bobby once again because I really, really want my beloved Steelers to win, but I really don't think it's going to happen. But I'm going to pick them because they're my team. But quite frankly, I mean, I saw a stat that the Steelers have not beaten the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly since 1965.
Dang.
I don't think that changes today, personally.
The year to do it.
You know, I just, you know, it's just the Saquon. That's really hard to do. A.J. Brown, let me tell you something. If you want him to have a good game, just stick him on Porter. Just have Porter cover him. You know, if he doesn't catch for 250, he'll get about 200 yards in penalties. Okay. It's just, I see this game going down to the wire, but I see the Steelers either offensively or defensively making that mistake or two late in the game that'll make the difference. They've been skating by a little bit lucky at times, even, you know, barely beat Washington, got a last second touchdown. That was, you know, great. But again, it was how many times can you make that happen? I'm going to go with the Steelers because they've been proving me wrong all season, but it's definitely going to be a tough game. I would not be surprised if the Eagles do win.
Fair enough. P, what you got?
Well, before I go, apparently there's some news that John Lynch spoke with Campbell. I mean, Kid Campbell. He wants to suspend him to the max to a point where he can't join another team. that just came through my phone. But anyway, got the birds today. Russ has to use his legs more only because George Pickens is out. So he has to extend plays more. I feel like our guys on defensive line can pressure him, make him uncomfortable back there to the point where he makes some turnovers. And, you know, we punch happy, so we'll punch the ball out too. I know that defense is going to try to. I know the Steelers. Their run defense is pretty good. And I know they don't allow you. So it's going to be interesting. I know Highsmith is back. Still got Patrick Queen back there. But you keep running at a team, eventually they're going to break. So the running game is going to be fine. Jalen Hurts has to get the ball out faster. He can't be hesitant and go backwards 10 yards and take a sack. Got to make smart decisions here. Like TJ said, throw the ball into AJ's way. Hopefully Porter is on him because, yes, he is a holding machine. Let's see if those calls will go our way. You know, the refs don't like us for some reason. They don't like us. It's okay.
Yeah, we don't care.
Yeah. But
You
I
don't say. You don't say you guys don't care. No shit. That song that exists about Philly doesn't exist it exists for a reason.
But no, if AJ is on Joey Porter, I pray for Joey Porter's, well-being for today. Because it's
mental health.
But
I pray for his well-being today, because Lord have mercy. He's gonna try to hold and when he's beaten, he's gonna try to hold AJ Brown and don't let him catch it on top of the penalty. Shoot, Jalen Hurts may have 3 touchdowns this game because of the tush push. But no, I got the Eagles in this game.
He may retire after today.
Listen, if AJ Brown was whining, Nikki Tight Pants, Nikki Sirianni should just tell him, see these Italian meatballs? Yeah, eat them. We're gonna run the football 40 times. If the run is working,
he's not going to tell him that.
Who cares what AJ Brown thinks? Winning is what matters.
Yeah, but they're not going to.
Winning.
He's not going to tell him that.
Winning is what matters.
Not his number 1 receiver. Maybe if it was like the number 4 or 5.
He doesn't have Mass Grande huevos, so he's not going to do that.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, that's what he should do because winning is what matters. Winning.
Yeah, let him do that, and then let AJ Brown just come over to the Broncos.
He doesn't like to
win the Broncos.
And he can sit his ass down on the bench.
Yeah.
We're definitely not going to put him on the bench. That would be crazy.
They're definitely not going to
last thing of the highlighted matchups, Packers versus Seahawks. I'm going to go Packers. I think Jordan Love has a very good game this game. I think he's ready to come out. He's had a couple of shaky games, so it's time to come out and show people who he is. The Seahawks, they're good, but we don't know, they're going to need DK to be really good to win this game. And DK just got back last week. Not a great week last week. He may have a good week this week. We don't really know because DK, he's a lot like AJ, and their mentality affects their play a lot, right? Like if they're not mentally in the right space, it doesn't matter how great of an athlete, how fast, and all that they are. They don't have as good of a game. So I just don't know about Seattle in the run game. While it can be good, we can't keep asking backups to step up, and we can't keep asking hurt starters to come in and have great games. At some point, it's not going to work. Packers have been a solid run defense. They're not going to let you sit there and just run all over, right? And I think that they just have more weapons, right? Look at the Packers. They can have 150-yard, 100-yard, 3 touchdown from one of 4 wide receivers. And there's not a lot of teams in the NFL that say that. So you can't guard everybody. Whoever's open to Jordan Love just got to hit him. That won't be the case in a couple of years when they start to start paying people. Right now, they're good to go. We'll just go around. Key, we'll start with you, and then we'll end with Sid.
What game we on? I'm sorry.
Packers and Seahawks.
Getting phone calls today. Which is unexpected, which is expectable. But
yeah.
Seahawks and Packers. Seahawks has been riding. Seahawks been playing pretty well. JSN is becoming that receiver that we all know he was going to be. I know the first year, of course, his rookie season, he didn't really shine like that, but now he's coming into his own. I think Walker's out, but they still got a backup in Charbonnet. Their defense hasn't been playing too bad. Packers, I like what I see from the Packers, but they was frauds last week. It was crazy, bro. I was the only one that picked Green Bay too, and I was like, "Oh my God, they about to do it!" Nope. But I like the Packers receivers though. Tyler Kraft, Wicks, Christian Watson, Jalen Reed. Crazy, Jalen Reed didn't have no catches last week. I think he gets some catches today. You know what? Give me Green Bay. Taking them again.
All right, then. TJ, who you got?
I'm going to go with the Seahawks just because, I just love Geno Smith, and I feel like they're just that team that no matter how many injuries they get, no matter how many questions they get thrown their way, they're just able to answer them with wins when they have to. I think it's a close game, but I do think they edge the Packers and all but solidify their playoff spot this week.
I dig it. Say who you got.
Man, Seahawks got to win this game, though, right? Because I think they're right there tied with the. I don't know what's up with them and the Rams, but either way, they got to win this game. But the Packers, man, they're a team, man. They're a hell of a team. I have the Packers winning this one.
Okay, so we are in agreement. This should be a Packers sweep. So that means the Packers probably will lose this game, guys, because we all agree.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding.
Whoa. Seahawks, baby.
Oh, you picked the Seahawks?
TJ picked Seahawks.
Oh,
Okay, so we're
yeah.
good then. We're good then. Whew, that was close. We're good then.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to pick the Seahawks first.
One guy picked the right team. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll see when the game's over. We shall see when the game's over. All right, so guys, we're gonna get to these lightning picks, and we have an interesting week here. Sunday, December 15th. Of course, we had the Rams and the 49ers on Thursday. There's not really much to talk about from that game. If you're not a Rams or 49ers fan and you watch that game, I apologize to you personally.
Oh
and
my
Thursday Night
God,
Football
that game was
send
Jesus.
you a message and say, hey, we're sorry that this happened. We did not expect this to happen. Here's a $5 credit. That's what Amazon should do for everybody that watch that game. It's not a fan of one of those. Okay. We talked about all the great Thursday night games. That
This
was
one
not
wasn't
one of them. That was not one of them.
No.
All right. So 1:00. We'll start the docket here. We've got the 5-8 Cowboys against the 3-10 Panthers.
they both lose.
Sid, we're gonna let you start. Who you got?
The Panthers got this one. Bryce
TJ, you
Young,
got
baby.
TJ, you got.
Now I'm going to go for comic relief, man. Panthers.
Okay. Key?
My heart says Dallas, but you know what? F it. Carolina is a 3.5 favorite, by the way. You know what? Let's ride with the keep pounding. Let's go with the Panthers.
I'm gonna make it a clean sweep, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh, don't
No.
do it.
Let me tell you why. The Panthers are a bad enough team to go out here and win a game that Dallas is trying to lose. I'm gonna go Panthers.
No Trayvon Diggs. He's out for the season apparently.
I need
But
Chuba to
you know,
go
Michael Parsons probably gonna, he gonna be reds and cry in the car after the game.
All right, we got the 12-1 Chiefs at the 3-10 Browns. I will go Chiefs and the referees. Q, you got
Sorry, what was the question? What was the game?
Chiefs and Browns.
Oh God, give me the Chiefs.
NFL
Even though
favorite.
Jameis did look nice in his suit this morning, but I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
Jameis in the zone.
Yeah, James will throw for 500 yards and they lose.
800 yards, yeah. 14 touchdowns and 14
He gonna have 3
interceptions.
touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 550.
Yeah.
But no pick sixes because he prayed for deliverance for pick sixes. So no pick sixes.
And he tackling that secondary play. He'll make sure of that.
So say who you got.
Browns. Because the
All
Chiefs
right.
suck.
And Keith, you got Chiefs, right?
Mhm.
Okay, just want to make sure I heard everything right. TJ, who you have, sir?
Browns.
You know it.
You know what? If I'm wrong in this game, I will be more than happy to give y'all kudos and celebrate it with you.
Yeah.
Because I would like for the Chiefs to lose every time they play. The Red
Brown.
Walrus and Patty Mayo, I love to see you lose. Is that hate? Yes. Be
Not
clear.
the
Yes,
Red
it's hate.
Walrus.
Yeah, Kelsey, you have Taylor Swift give you a sorry hug.
Yeah.
Any insults, I'm there for. I am there for. All right, we got the
Look,
6 and
ever
7
since they've
Dolphins.
been showing her, he's been having a horrible year. How the other
Keep
tight
loving
ends got more touchdowns
loving
than
her.
you?
6 and 7 Dolphins, 8 and 5 Texans. I'm going Texans. TJ, who you going?
Texans. I got to
you
take the Texans.
All right.
Texans.
Damn.
Said.
I need the Dolphins to keep losing too, because I don't need any miracles happening at the end of the season. So I'm gonna go
No
Texans.
mother loving miracles. Okay.
None of that.
All right. We got 3 and 10 versus 3 and 10. Somebody's got to lose. They both suck to me. We've got the
Toilet
3-10
bowl.
Jets and the 3-10 Jaguars. I'm gonna go the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are gonna find some way to suck and lose again because at this point in the season, when you're playing another team that's trying to lose, which I think the Jets are by this point, a team like the Jaguars who still thinks everybody's on an even play field is gonna go out there and be like, yeah, let's play and win. Say who you got?
Dang, that's a hard one.
Isn't it?
Probably the hardest game of the week to pick, guys.
That's why I use different logic.
I was gonna say, I guess I could see, the Jaguars winning. Jets are trying to low key tank because they know they got to replace Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Exactly. TJ?
Jaguars.
JETS, just in the season.
You do got Aaron Rodgers' ego.
I don't believe in any of these teams. Jesus Christ. Give me the
I
Jets.
picked the scenario that was worse for both. Yeah, I picked the scenario that was worse for both.
Yeah.
The Jets lose the game, and the other team thinks they're doing something by winning the game.
Just in the season. Just Jets.
Okay. All right, and we've got the 8-5 Commanders at the 5-8 Saints. Commanders should win this pretty easily, in my opinion. Key, who you got?
I got the Commanders.
TJ, who you got?
Coach of the year for the Commanders.
And said, who do you have, sir?
I got the Saints just so Jaden Daniels doesn't win Rookie of the Year. But
Oh my God! Because if Jake Hayner can beat the Commanders, oh boy,
who's their quarterback? Yeah,
Jake Hayner.
But if Jaden Daniels has a good week, it's not going to affect him.
It's like the quarterback situation just got worse the last.
I would have rather have
How do we
Spencer
get worse?
Rattler. At least you know what you're getting out of Rattler
The
this year.
wish-
Well, they
The
knew
wish
when they were like,
Mayo.
"Nah, we don't want it."
The wish
don't
Patty
need it.
Mayo. All right, we got
Yo,
the
hey, did you see
85
that profile pic he had a few years ago?
Mhm.
What was
We got
that?
the 85 Ravens, 2-11 Giants. I'm just going to say Ravens. TJ, who you got?
God, this hurts Ravens. Oh.
I mean, even though he would love a Raven loss.
Key, who you got?
Derrick Henry gonna have a field day. He cut his
He gonna try
dreads
to-
off.
Oh
He gonna try
no!
to-
Did
He
he?
going to try to
Yeah,
catch
he got
Saquon this week.
he got straight backs now. He cut his dreads. He gonna have a field day. He gonna at least have a $150, $135. I got Baltimore.
Dang.
And said,
Yeah.
closing out for us on this game.
Can't pick against Baltimore, man, but I need him to lose. I need to keep as much ground as I can on these teams. So I'm gonna go
You don't have any
Giants.
ground on Baltimore, though. Y'all both 8-5.
I know. I just want to keep stuff where it's
But
at.
if Baltimore
We
loses,
can move
and
up.
he moved, they move up.
Yeah, we get an easier game. We
He
don't want to
don't
play
he
the.
don't
we
want
wanna
to
play the Bills.
Seed.
We don't want to go to Buffalo.
So
We're
you'd
trying to
rather
go
go
Pittsburgh. Let's
you'd rather go to
Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Broncos first round. That's the ultimate playoff matchup right there. Russ versus
You'd rather
Sean
play
Payton.
Buffalo than Pittsburgh.
Nah, I'd rather play Pittsburgh than Buffalo and Buffalo.
I'd rather play Buffalo. But
Because if we go to Buffalo and we beat Buffalo and Buffalo, we got to win the Super Bowl after that. We can't like lose in any other round. We have to go win the Super Bowl.
After won a game.
Because I mean, it's just that's just logic. We got to go through and win. But no, either one of those matchups, we don't care who we're playing. That's it. So, but it would be,
Bengals, 5-8 Bengals, 3-10 Titans. Who you got, said?
the Bengals finding a way to lose this one. The Titans.
TJ, who you got?
The Bungles.
He want the Bengals to lose too. The division.
No.
team, man.
Bengals are winning. Bengals are winning.
Yeah, go ahead, Keith.
I got the Bengals winning this. They better not lose to the Titans.
They'll find a way.
Yeah. They still have old Willie Boy as their quarterback.
Their whole team's like Jameis Winston. Like, they just look so good, and you look
I
up.
don't know. NIK been playing pretty well. I mean, Westbrook Akine.
I'm going with Bengals.
NWI.
I'm going Bengals. All right, we got the 3-10 Patriots and the 6-7 Cardinals. Boy, Cardinals, you got you a bunny at the right time. I'm going Cardinals.
Cardinals. Even though they're missing their guy, their right tackle, Jonah Williams, I think his last name is.
The Patriots. It doesn't matter.
But the Cardinals could find a way to lose, and the Patriots will win this game. But no, I'm going Cardinals.
Cardinals got to have this game.
Who are it? Drake May. I'm going Drake May, man. Patriots.
So are you going Patriots?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we got Colts at Broncos. I'm gonna go Broncos. Sid, go ahead.
Well, I'm saying the Colts have a really compelling case to win this game, right? They could probably win and they're in, but the game's already lost for them. I'm gonna go Broncos.
TJ,
I almost don't want to say it just to make him mad, but I got to go Broncos. Got to go Broncos.
Yeah.
Keith.
In the words of Russell Wilson when he was with the team, Broncos country. Let's ride.
Let's ride. Oh, we riding now. We riding now.
No Diddy. We got the 7-6 Buccaneers at the 8-5 Chargers. This was another possible candidate for game of the week. Didn't quite make it, but I think the games that we picked were better. Chargers. They're going to run the ball and keep
Bucky Irvin's playing. I got
Baker Mayfield at bay enough to win.
What?
You guys said.
I got Bucky Irvin getting 250 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Buccaneers all day.
All right, TJ.
Buccaneers, they're a little bit better on offense, a little bit more consistent.
Keith?
He says the Bucks and Chargers?
Yeah.
Yep.
Not the San Diego Chargers, though.
Give me the Chargers.
All right. So we've got a double hitter on Monday Night Football that nobody should be watching unless you're a Bears or Vikings, Falcons or Raiders fan. We've got at 8 p.m. the Bears 4-9 at the Vikings. The Vikings are going to go out into that field, and they are going to, for those of you who are fans of wrestling or have heard this before from different places, they're going to whoop that trick. The trick being the Bears, Vikings.
Yeah,
TJ,
I think we can all agree Vikings, right? Vikings.
Yeah, they're going to poop on the Chicago Bears, but no TP. Mm-hmm. Yep.
We should, but we got Sid, so you never know. Sid, who you got?
Man, I got the Bears coming through, playing spoiler alert right now.
Oh my God.
They played the Lions pretty good in the second half.
Well, I just tell y'all, we got Sid, so you never know.
I got the Bears coming through. The Bears.
They had four total yards last week against San Fran. Can they get more than 4 this week?
Now it's time for them to heat up. Hey, it's time for them to heat up. San Fran had 8 million touchdowns last week against the Bears.
When they're 4-10.
Yeah, it's time. They're ready. Caleb Williams, he done woke up. He done it slowed down for him. He know what's going on. These last few games, he finna dominate. The Bears.
All right, 6-7 Falcons at the 2-11 Raiders. I'm going to pick the Falcons just because they're playing what I believe now that the Jaguars stumbled into a win last week is the worst team in the NFL. The Raiders. How did the Jaguars win, bro? Like, that's crazy. But it's Falcons. You got.
I guarantee you Kurt's going to find a way to have some dang on interceptions against the Raiders.
Absolutely.
Oh, my God. I got to pick Atlanta. I haven't picked Atlanta all. I said I wasn't picking Atlanta no more. I got to go to Atlanta this time.
It's not that you lie, Key. The situation just changed. You know what I'm saying?
I seen them in person. And they almost lost to the Saints. They had no offensive touchdowns, but 2 saved them.
I feel it. All right, TJ.
Falcons got to have this one stay alive against the worst team. Come on.
And Sid.
Man, that Raiders offense been spicy these past few weeks. They went toe-to-toe with the Chiefs.
Not with Desmond Ridder.
Oh, man, the second half against the Broncos, they look really good. Oh, yeah, Desmond Ritter's in now full-time. That's what Aiden O'Connell. Desmond Ridder, though, he's ready to take his moment back and show Atlanta why they should not have gotten rid of him. This is a revenge game 2.0. I got the Raiders coming through and getting one in. They're going to Raider and win a game.
Good, Nelly.
You can expect things from certain people.
Hey, these are all good reasons, man.
And then when they say it, you're like, I really can't believe that he said that even though I expected it. Hey,
It's a Booker T moment.
That is
Tell
the
me,
great thing
did not
about
just say that.
The best thing about it is allowing gentlemen and good people the opportunity to say what they want to say. And I do believe we do there. We do have a comment. William Hugo 28 says Bears are done. No way they do anything after that other than suck.
He's biased. The Bears.
I kind of have to agree with that comment.
Said, yeah. So that being said, thank everybody for tuning in. If you're watching this, just go ahead and share it out to a few other people. Tell them come through and check us out. You know what I'm saying? Hang out with us for about an hour and a half of mischief, tomfoolery, and all the good stuff. A little bit of knowledge in there somewhere. And another week. Want to end it like this. This is my thing. There's a lot of people who are going through loss. Current, past, right? Parents, siblings, children, lovers, whatever. People handle these things in different ways, right? Some people talk about it. Some people keep themselves busy. There are people who bottle everything up. And if you don't talk to them about it, you don't reach out to them, you don't check on them, it may not be a good situation. So what I'd ask, if you know people that are going through, this season and they have people that are close to them, even friends, whoever, they're no longer with us, take some time, check on them, as someone who struggles with the holidays myself as well, take time, talk to them. You'd rather spend a little time on the phone, video chat, whatever, than have to put on your black suit, your black dress, and go see them for the last time. So there are people who need it, so make sure when we're thinking about everything else and enjoying the season that we reach out to those we know who may be struggling. Hate to end it on a somber note, but that's the real life, y'all. And if something happens, then they can't come and watch football with us. So we don't want that either. So that being said, shout out Shady Sports Network. Shout out Sports Wave Network. Make sure you're checking out both of those YouTube channels. And we are out. We will return next week with our same brand of zany football talk.
Are you ready?